Hello, everybody, and welcome to the presentation of the CODE10 CI Accelerator release for 2409. I say multiple times for this. Yeah. And thank you for coming to the webinar. So I'm Antonio Valladares. I'm the CEO and managing partner of integration in CODE10. And today we have with us Luis Gómez, that is product owner. Hi, Luis. How are you doing?
Hi, Antonio. I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you everyone for joining our webinar. I hope you like it.
So for the ones that they don't know us, let me start with a small introduction of our company, because we are quite tight with the schedule. So we are a global integration, we're a global consulting firm. We have the headquarters in Barcelona. We started from the technical area, and from the technical area we cover a lot of different areas.
Yeah, you can show you what we specialize,
what we are experts on.
Yeah.
No? So one of our primary areas is integration, like we are going to talk today. So whatever is PIPO, Integration Suite, Boomi. Also, we are specialists in MuleSoft, in TIBCO, and Talent, but all the area of integration, especially from SAP systems and also non-SAP systems. Then we are specialists in the development. We started from the core, from ABAP, and then we move to all the developments that they happen in the BTP. So we go from low code, no code, to Fiori and the rest, and the pro code, where we have CAP and RAP, that we are specialists, as we will show you today. And then, of course, technical is, we need to find a business reason why we need the technical developments. And one of the areas that we are fully specialized is in the area of e-compliance. So the area of e-compliance is what it includes the electronic invoicing, electronic notifications to the government, standard audit reporting files, etc., etc., yeah. And where we have our own tools even.
Yeah, we can have cover solutions, either standard or we have custom developments there.
Mm-hmm. And another important area, at least and not last, is also the big data. No? So we started with the data warehousing using the SAP tools, like the old BW, and now the new DataSphere and SAP Analytic Clouds. But we also are specialists in the Azure suite and the AWS suite in order to cover the different.
But I think we're here to talk about something else. No,
yes. I didn't want to consume some time. So please, let's go for it, and let's focus in the presentation of the CI Accelerator.
Yeah, so today we are here to talk about our star product. Let's say it like that. So one of them, and the CI Accelerator. So why we decided to do that? We started a lot of years ago working in integration, PIPO, then the cloud came, Integration Suite appeared, and we saw then a blank canvas, no, where we can, and where we found that there were many gaps during our implementations. We found gaps in the product that we decided to fill these gaps, no, in order to address the challenges that integration gives us.
So basically what you are saying is that we did a lot of projects and we found some things that we didn't like and we improved the tool.
Yeah, the aim of the Accelerator is to improve, give quality to Integration Suite in order to do PIPO migrations to the cloud or even new implementations.
But so what is your vision?
So the vision is that we're not just giving a product that fills a gap. What we are giving is a tool that can help building the foundation of the future integration in your company.
Well, that's great, no? Great words, but I think we need to use a value case proposition in order to show a better example of where our product fits, no? So as you mentioned, Luis, we had a lack of participating in super big implementation of Integration Suite, and also we participate in none as big as that one, no? So when we go to a very large enterprise, and I want to highlight the very, very large enterprise, there is normally a time where we can do a discovery phase of the tool, analyze the requirements, analyze what problems we will face, analyze how we can solve it, and we define a proper architecture really oriented to that very large company. But not all the cases are the same. So most of the rest of the organizations, unfortunately, they cannot afford a process of 6 months or 4 months of discovering the tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So at the end, some of the implementation, when you do a fire, and start, just migrating interfaces or just creating interface out of the blue, some customers, they feel that Integration Suite is not what they were expecting in the first instance. So I will say that Integration Suite is a super powerful tool, but with a lack of discovery and a lack of architecture planning, it results in an unhappiness from our customers.
And that's when CODE10 Accelerator comes into place.
Yes. So what we want to do. So what we did is to pack all this knowledge, to pack all these developments all together, and we name it CODE10 Accelerator. No? And this packaging and this reusability of all these developments and tools, it's a kind of democratization of the good practice that very large enterprise can afford, because we already did that analysis. And of course, this is not that one size fits all, but it will fit most of the customers. So we address all the problems that we detect during the last 6-7 years that we've been doing project implementation in Integration Suite, and we have our own methodology that is very similar to the SAP Activate one. So at the end, the result of packaging all this and giving a good price for using
for a very good quality product,
exactly, it leads with happiness. And the happiness formula is that our methodology and CODE10 Accelerator leads for successful projects normally, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So just to wrap up a little bit of the commercial presentation, CODE10 Accelerator, what it brings is speed to the process. The transition to the cloud is faster.
Yeah, faster go-to-market.
Yeah. We want to generate the governance across all the integrations and all the integration architecture. So but most important is based on quality. Okay? Quality is for us the most important thing, and what we want is to deliver quality within the integration. But how we build this, I think, is Luis the best person to mention it. No, Luis?
Yeah. So all this being said, how we deliver this product. So we divide the CI Accelerator into parts. One is an integration package that contains all these developments. This is installed in the customer Integration Suite tenant. And additionally, we wanted to keep some interface to that. Initially, we only had the package.
We want to put a face.
Yeah, we wanted to put a face into the product, so we developed a BTP app linked to the product that helps. It's a user-friendly app to improve the governance of the platform. The monitoring is developed in SAP using the last BTP best practices technologies of development, and we think it gives the next step for the tool. No?
Yes, definitely. Also, Luis, I think you forget to mention that aside of using the best practice of the BTP, we also have 2 versions, no, of the CAP application.
Yeah.
One within memory, no?
Something? Yeah, the application have in-memory SQLite persistence for customers that doesn't have
a persistent database.
A persistent database as can be HANA, or it can be also used by linked to HANA database or POST.
So we deliver these 2 options, either with a in-memory database, and also the ones that they have a database inside their BTP. We can use a HANA database in order to store everything. Okay, but Luis explained very well how we deliver this content. But this content is divided in 3 different pillars. No? We have integration patterns that I will say that this is how it started and one of the most important things. We will cover them one by one. Monitoring and alerting tools that is coming with very hot news here, and integration toolkit. So let's not waste our time. Let's go deep and dive in the integration patterns. No? So the integration patterns, I would say that is one of the most important pillars of our architecture. And the objective of this is that we want to implement the things with applying good practice. So we have a pattern for each case, and each case it will address the typical problem. So first, performance problems. Second, retry mechanism. Error handling is one of them. And again, we have patterns for almost all the cases. No, we have pattern for exactly once scenarios, asynchronous exactly once, synchronous very complex scenarios, publish and subscription scenarios, and we have a scenario also for exactly once in order, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw this problem and how SAP is facing that, and we decided to give it a try in our side and develop a pattern for exactly once in order.
Different from the one that SAP, we can implement both, but we have also our way. So Luis, I will do the handover to you to explain how one of the scenarios it works.
Yeah, so for example, we want to go into detail of how we use the integration patterns. No? When we want to build an interface, what we do first is to analyze which kind of interface it is, synchronous, asynchronous, which pipeline it covers. No? Prior to the SAP pipeline that was released a few months ago, we created our pipelines, our pattern, that in this case for the async communication, that is divided in four tiers or 4 layers. When we developed this, we were thinking in how to implement retries, how to
addressing the problem.
I
remember that we did a project where we have a really big performance problem because we were moving a lot of messes, and the connectivity with an SAP system, it was causing some problems, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is where we started to create this pattern. No? For example, we have the first layer, that is the decoupling layer, where we receive the message from the source and we store it in the JMS queue. This allows us to close this communication, releasing connections from the sender system and the BTP. So we process further the message inside cloud integration. The next step is the routing. In the routing, we decide which systems are receiving this message and which interfaces are being executed.
Which mapping is being executed. SAP, I think, has a pipeline concept related with the exactly ones that they divided in 5 steps. I would say that is a baby compared with our product that has been 3 years or more in the market. And they decide to go for 2 layers here in the routing tier, no? Can you explain why we decide to do it in 1?
For us, when we implement our integration pattern from asynchronous exactly once communication, routing needed to solve the whole challenge, no? To decide where and how. So this is implemented inside this routing tier. Then the message is passed to the application tier, where the mapping or the transformations itself are executed. We have the different mappings that are executed, the different logic, and then the message is delivered to another JMS queue, where it's stored, and the dispatching tier will be in charge of delivering this message to the receiver. It's important that we separate this because we can, in this way, control the delivery of the message, control retry, alerting, avoid communication errors, and avoid the need of re-triggering the messages from their origin.
Thank you very much, Luis. So we can waste 2-3 hours speaking about the different integration patterns, but let's continue on also. This has been released since the first version of CODE10 Accelerator, and we want to show the news, no? So alerting and monitoring, okay? So basically, I think that the name of this pillar is self-describing, no? We want alerting, we want proper alerting, integration with ITL tools, etc. And we want monitoring capabilities. The monitor of integration suite is okay, but we believe that is not covering enough what are the requirements. And for that, Luis, I think you can give an explanation on how we build the alerting first.
of course, first challenge was in the integration patterns, how to integrate this alerting, and not just to do the normal alerting, but give the next step in alerting. So we decided to build like building blocks for alerting that connect to different ITIL and messaging tools. No, one of the most common would be like Jira and ServiceNow. This way, companies can automatize the error handling. And last, like the next step in that was using messaging tools. For example, internally, we're using Power Automate and Microsoft Teams to trigger the alerts in the customers. We have our AMS. No, we receive the alerts in our Power Automate. We send automatic messages to Teams groups, and we assign them in Azure DevOps.
But what about if I want to continue having emails?
Well, there's people that, companies that still want to, like the integration team is small and they still want to have this email, but we decided to improve the email, not just give this
ugly email from
ugly technical email that many companies like that everyone had in PIPO, because it ended up in the spam. No? So we can also offer an email template that we understand it gives a difference, makes a difference.
That's great. Also, we received some questions that I think is important to clarify. Our solution is also compatible with the alerting framework of BTP, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we have our alerting mechanism, but we can also connect to other notification in BTP for whoever wants is using this service. This service is only included in the premium license of Integration Suite. It doesn't.
But if we have it, we can use it.
By the how we can use it, we can also send alerts to alert notification, and a notification will handle. In this case, if the alert is triggered via email to ServiceNow to Jira, that is a similar tool but separate from our tools.
Please show what we improved in the monitoring part.
Yeah. So regarding the monitoring, we mentioned before the BTP apps, no? The CI Accelerator app. They are developing using SAP CAP technology and UI5 from the front end. The applications are divided into parts. No, one is the backend CAP and the Fiori UI, and they have this functionality. We have the home page with some KPIs that show us which certificates are expired, for example, with certificates are about to expire. We can see the integration dashboard.
It's a nice screen, but I want to highlight another thing. So these CAP applications are deployed on BTP, or they are provided as a service?
No, what we do is we deploy the applications in the customer BTP. This is not intended to be a integration platform as a service, because if we did that, that will have a cost of messages. When we deliver that inside the BTP, the customers, all the message, all the traffic, all the API consumption is within BTP, and that doesn't incur in additional cost.
That's very clever. So like that, we avoid the cost of messaging to have a monitoring tool. Yeah. And also is the way of doing monitoring, because there are third-party companies that they are offering an external monitoring tools, but our product is going in a different way.
Yeah, and I also want to say that with this, we enable the internal teams of the company to use our tool. It's not a tool that we deploy and we use the application. It's something we want the customer to use.
Yes.
And the next one, I think, is the most, like,
this is the monitoring.
The monitoring
that fits with our integration patterns and so on. But come on, Luis, I don't want to see it in a PowerPoint. I want to see it in the system.
Yeah, we will see the system later. Let me just give a brief explanation here, and then we will show the system, okay? Here, the monitor, we wanted to cover what SAP is not covering, no? SAP is not using the pipeline for monitoring, is missing functionalities, is an ugly monitor. So we wanted to give
aggregated messages.
Yeah, aggregated messages. We wanted to go a step forward, no? And that's why we created the integration monitor inside the BTP apps that we think is the
And we can see that when we click in one message, we can see the 4 different steps, the 4 different iflows that it was generating.
Yeah,
But again, I want to see it in the system.
Okay, we'll show the system later, no worries.
Okay, so let's jump to the next pillar. No? The next pillar is the toolkit. So what is the toolkit? The toolkit we put over there, whatever it was not belonging to the other pillars, isn't it? Whatever is not an integration pattern or alerting and monitoring, it goes in the bucket of toolkit.
Yeah, the idea is to save companies' development time, offering out-of-the-box functionalities that can be, for example, disaster recovery, SSL certificate alerting, and even automatic update. There are many, and a collection of Groovy scripts.
We have another application that is handling with value mapping, for example, and so on. So really, very fast. Here we have our dashboard for tools, but I think really the people want to see it working in the system.
So here in the image we can see the CI Accelerator package, but we will show now the CODE10 BTP apps, that CI Accelerator apps that we think are the key point of the product of this release.
Thank you, Luis. So meanwhile, Luis is sitting and starting to share the screen. Now we are going to do the demonstration in our system on how does it work. And I hope you will like it. Please, if you have any question and so on, you can see we cannot see the screen. So raise the hand, and then we will cover some question time for that.
Okay, so here we can see the home page of our CI Accelerator apps. As said before, we have 3 KPIs already in place. We're working on more, but basically we are showing the certificate monitor, which expired certificates or about to expire certificates. We see the integration dashboard where we can see which iflows are deployed or in error. That will help us to understand the status of our system. And we have a KPI showing the last messages in the system. It's an easy way to summarize the runtime. So first of all, I want to show you the integration dashboard map. In the integration dashboard, we wanted to address 2 main problems. The first one is that when we are working in the standard integration suite, we don't know whether our iflows are deployed or not deployed, the status of the iflows, which version are we working on, which version is deployed. With this cockpit, we can see
problem, no?
We can see everything, no? We can see how.
Also, we implement a very good functionality there, no? To do massive deploys and undeploys.
Yeah, what we also saw this problem is, okay, in the IPO, we have the channel monitor where we stop the communications. In this case, we didn't have this functionality. So here we implemented the deployment and undeployment. So for example, if we want to undeploy our iflows for the Batus package, here we can click and undeploy them when they are not deployed, or even if we individually or massively, and the same with the deployment. And this really is a tool that improves the governance of the system for the companies. No,
everything is in one screen. Mm-hmm. We can see the version, see the status, and I really think that the massive deployment and undeploy is solving a lot of problems that we have with customers. That they say, hey, I have iflows that they connect with an SFTP. When we do downtime system, I need to deploy them all in one by one. This is like a horrible task, and we solve this immediately.
Yeah, and this is giving this single access point for this, where in the standard we need to go to 3 different places. So next, I want to show you the message monitor. The message monitor, let's say, it's the as we said, is for us the best of our release here. We are grouping the messages by interface. We can select here for example, messages from the last month. We can see here all the messages that have been executed from last month, their status, completed, failed, retried, escalated. For example, if we want to show the dead mass messages that we sent to an SFTP, we can see here, for example, we have the escalated messages here with all the retries. We can also here, for example, successful ones. If we click in the successful ones, we can see how they go through every step.
And how the magic happens here, no? Because we have multiple iFlows. How do you set up this combination of messages to be aggregated?
So yeah, the important is how we identify now the processes in the message monitor. We have here the other application, which is the interface cockpit. In the interface cockpit, we define every interface process or interface ID. We give it interface ID or RISE ID, however you want to call, you want to find it. And we identify also the sender, the message type, and the different layers of our pipeline. Well, it doesn't need to be only our pipeline, no? As you can see here, we have 3 types of pipelines. We have the asynchronous, that is following our integration pipeline. We have synchronous and we have freestyle. In freestyle, we can put whatever from any other kind of pipeline, isolated iFlows, or even we can put SAP pipeline. No, we can incorporate.
Why didn't show us how to create one?
So, for example, if we want to add an interface, we have this pop-up. Now we define the interface madmas to SFTP. I'm just making it up. So we have the madmas 05. The sender is SAP, and here we decide which kind of interface we are having. It's a synchronous interface. We have our synchronous pattern, router, application, and dispatcher. It's an asynchronous interface where we have the sender or the coupling, the router, the application layer, and the dispatcher layer. Here we can choose between existing integration flows. So we just choose from the list which one we want to use. For example, the coupling, I'm just choosing randomly here.
Don't worry, it will not work.
So we choose the router. So we decide which one we want to use here. Okay, L02.
So this is purely choosing, almost very easy to set up, isn't it?
Yeah, this is just to set up the processes that can be later on incorporated in the message.
And this
monitor.
freestyling, I think we build it in order to cover also the ones that they use the pipeline concept with 5 layers, isn't it, Luis?
Yeah. I mean, here we cover our patterns, and then we have the freestyle. And the freestyle is just, you can
add as many steps as
we can put
okay.
Whatever.
I think
if we choose one iFlow that is already existing in the process, in the message, for example, we can send invoice ticket by, for example, and then we can say that the second step is this. And this will start adding the iFlows in the process. Once the processes are created in the system, we have them here. We can edit if there's any change, we can delete them. And then automatically, when we go to the monitor, we will see here the messages that are linked to this process. That helps with the governance of the system, because we don't just see error messages isolated in Integration Suite. We know which error belongs to which interface.
And if I want to go from here to the message, is this possible?
Yeah, for example, we can say, let's go here. We see the whole message here. We can go to the Integration Suite. Okay, this will show the log of the specific message in the standard. We see the detail of the execution. And if we go here, we navigate to the correlation of the message, where we see all the steps where that were executed, and helps with the troubleshooting and the monitoring.
Very interesting.
So for us, this is the key part of our application, actually.
So like that, you show us what we enhance in this release related with the monitoring.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the only apps that we create, isn't it? So
no.
we have some apps that we create for the toolkit part.
Yeah, so what we saw is that, for example, in the system for value mapping administration, when you work in the standard, value mappings are disseminated between the different packages. And we thought that it would be interesting to have a single point of creation, managing, and administration of the value mappings. So we see here on the list of value mappings. For example, we can see here the receiver determination by message type, no? Where we see the sender message receiver, send to, if it's the message type, the number of recipients, the recipients. We can deploy
but we did this only for display, or there is a...
No, this is the ones that are already existing in the system. Let me close this here. So if we want to create a new value mapping here, we can create. Let's see, test. Just allow me to copy this. Okay. When we add values, we can either use a template. No, we can download a template that's an Excel template and upload it. But right now, that has this structure. Source agency, source ID, source value, target agency, target ID, target value. But we can create also entries manually, no? So
I like the functionality to import it from an Excel, because when you have a lot of values, it's quite tedious to fill them all here.
Yeah,
and from an Excel is always easier.
Of course it is, but here for the demo purposes, we'll just...
So for the Excel, it has the same columns as you are filling here, and you load the Excel, and it will load in one shot all the possible values, isn't it?
Yeah, it loads. It loads the values that we create. The same way, you have an Excel file and you can upload them. Okay. So here we have we created one value. If we want to add another one, we have already this help. No. And we can create it. Let me search here. We can search it here. We can open it. Here we just create. If we want to deploy, we just go save version, for example, 1, and we go save and deploy. Or we just we can just deploy it here. Okay,
that's great. Okay, and I heard at the beginning of the presentation that we have a certificate monitoring, no?
Yeah.
But why we did a certificate monitoring when Integration Suite has already a certificate monitoring?
So what we saw from the standard is that the SAP standard monitoring for certificates, not the key store, it doesn't give you the information. You cannot select or filter certificates by expiration date.
That's very useful to know which certificates are going to expire in 1 month or 2 months or more.
What we have here is basically we are basically showing the key store. It allows us to filter by name or by certificate or keeper in this case, and we can see, okay, which ones are expired. And this is easier than just scrolling and see what is wrong. So we can just here, and we select. It allows us to rename it, update it, or download the certificate or delete it here directly. for individual certificates, and we can even add certificates or keepers to the key store from here. So the idea.
So what we build here is a really central tool for certificates. We can do everything with the certificates, and we can easily display not only here but also in the KPIs if the certificates are going to expire or not in the following months.
That's why these applications, in particular, now for the certificates, we also have the KPI. We understand that the homepage with the KPIs is also a key part of our suite, because it gives you an overview of the status of the system in a glance, no? And we are working on adding KPIs here for the next releases, but at this point we have these ones, and we think they are the main
objective is covered.
The main points that we want to address at this point. Of course, we are evolving the tool. We will evolve the tool. We will create new
about the certificates. This is a great combination with the email alerting that we have set up as part of the toolkit, informing actively when certificates are going to expire.
Of course, this doesn't.
We don't want more problems in production with the certificate.
Okay, of course, we don't want just to neglect and forget about this because we have an application like API. We still send alerts when a certificate is about to expire.
Luis, we need to wrap up what we have in this release. So thank you very much for the demo. Let's go back to the screen again.
Yeah.
And let's wrap up what we have in the release. So in this release, we have an exactly once in order integration pattern. That the main difference is that we don't use advanced event mesh for building the interface exactly once.
Yeah.
We have automatic certificate expiration update.
Yeah. That is only applying for SSL certificates, of course, not for keepers because that needs manual action. But we understand that this is an improvement because it will save you the
errors. It will save you
it automatically will solve the error, no?
Then we have, of course, some bug fixing from the previous release. I would say not many bug fixing.
No, but this comes when from
to adapt the functionalities
to the new cases. It comes from bug fixing that we find in our project implementations because we do use CODE10 Accelerator when we do a project. We're not just trying to sell something that we don't believe in. We use the tool. We
use it for all the greenfield implementations and for all the migrations.
That's right.
And also in this release, of course, the most important thing is the apps. No, we were trying to deliver the apps in between the previous release and this one, but it was too challenging, and we decided to wait to deliver something proven and tested.
We did a couple of pilots. It's already working in some customers, but in this release we want to make it official. We want to show them because we think they really make a difference and help with the user experience, with the system governance, and basically
So what we have in the roadmap, because this is a living tool, no? This is a living add-on for Integration Suite.
Yeah, of course, as I said before, we will evolve the tool, no? So what we are working on for the next release for April next year, first is enhanced PubSub integration patterns. No, we want to create integration patterns with that works with the different event brokers, SAP based or not SAP, no, from event mesh, advanced event mesh, Solas, Kafka, Azure, any broker. We want to have integration patterns for that because we believe this is the future. We want to add 2 new apps. One would be the development pipeline that will help you monitor the development of your interfaces now with the CI/CD approach.
And give you some governance, improve the governance.
Improve the governance, improve the control and the quality of the development. Now we want to incorporate also checks as SAP also has, but our checks based in our best practices, and create a pipeline for development that help you control whether an iFlow is in development, it's in testing phase, it's ready for production, and have a central cockpit for that, a development pipeline, we call it. And then the last will be a migration wizard. As everybody knows, PIPO is coming to an end, 2027 or 2030 for the ones that wants to extend. So along with, based in our integration patterns in our pipeline, we are building also a migration wizard that will speed up this transition. Even more than just using our integration patterns from the package, this will help you create the scenarios faster. We will have,
So before closing the thing, we did it very well in timing, Luis.
Yeah,
we were adjusting. We want to book some time for questions and answers. Let me go to the chat and see if there is any question here. So loading, we have one question. I assume that the license-wise, the Accelerator need at least a standard edition, as JMSQs are not part of the basic edition. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Basic edition of Integration Suite does not include JMSQs.
Of course. What we see is that very few customers have the basic edition. Almost everyone has the standard that includes the JMS, the API management, even mesh now, the B2B tools, trading partner, all these tools that we also use in our CI Accelerator.
Thank you, Luis. Let's check if there is any other question. Please, if anyone has a question, that's a good moment. If no one else has a question, really feel free to send us an email. You have the contact details. You can contact luis.gomez@code10it.com, antonio.valladares@code10it.com anytime.
Our info email.
Yes. And we can also do a personalized demo, clarify any questions.
Yeah, you can contact us at any time for clarification. We are here to help, and
yes, and we are here also to build integration architecture for the future.
That's right. We want to help you build the integration architecture for the future of your company.
Thank you very much, and have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.